Ever put bananas on pizza? What up now, Swedes? Woo! Is that a Swedish thing, bananas on pizza? Or am I inciting the hockey wars? Yes, it is. Okay, never mind. We only tell the truth here. I bet it's good, though. I mean, like, probably people from the United Kingdom are like, oh, but Chinese food on top of French fries is crazy, but bananas on pizza, you're like, you gotta respect it. Listen, I bet it tastes good. My anecdata to back that up is people like to eat food that tastes good. So it is definitely unusual by my standards and the standards of what I would consider like North American taste. But I don't think people would be eating the bananas on the pizza if the banana pizza didn't taste good. They might order it once out of curiosity and then say, no thank you, sir, but they wouldn't come back. There is some stuff that I think is kind of... I've eaten a lot of foods, okay? And I'm not trying to put the system on trial. At the end of the day, this is just one man's opinion, okay? There are still some fad foods. Let me rephrase. Some foods that have semi-recently become popular that I think are... they're peaking right now. I'm not saying they're going to go extinct, but I think that we'll look back on their consumption and be like, kind of what were we thinking? One of them is, well, there's one, I have to get you with the gimme first, and then I think I'm going to say something a little bit more controversial. The first one is alcoholized versions of normal drinks, and at the same time, de-alcoholized versions of alcoholic drinks. Now, I'm accepting non-alcoholic beer. It's been around forever. Maybe you want to... not drinking alcohol is good for you. But we went from simply lemonade to now we got simply spiked lemonade, which is basically like a White Claw, which is basically a sparkling water with alcohol, and now they're making non-alcoholic White Claw, which just, we've gone through so many different, it's like the ship of Theseus. Like, I don't even know what the hell is inside of the liquid anymore at this point. They took seltzer and put alcohol in it, and then they took the alcohol out of it. Like, you know what's great about it is in an economic sense, 330,000 people have a career doing this process, and the economy has decided that it gives value to society. That's an innovation in and of itself right there. Two people meet in a malt shop, and they're like, I'm the guy who puts the alcohol in the seltzer, and then they're like, nice to meet you, I'm the guy who takes it out. You're making my job harder, dude. If you stop putting the alcohol in, I wouldn't have to take all of it out, man. So I just feel like I'm not saying it's going to go to zero, but I do feel like we're kind of at peak alcoholized normal drinks and de-alcoholized alcoholic drinks. The other one I want to say, and I bet that I enjoy this beverage more than the average person in chat, I think we're at peak kombucha. And I know it's been around, you know, and reasonably popular for probably a decade in North America at this point. I drink it now and then. It doesn't fit into my worldview, which is inherently meaningless. That's not really like a proof or anything. But I just don't see a future where people are still excited to be drinking kombucha. It doesn't taste as good as a drink that you drink for flavor, and it's not as good for your gut as just taking a probiotic. Like a kombucha, I don't even know. Like I take a probiotic every morning. That bitch has 10 billion living bacteria in each dose. 10 billion. I'm taking gamma radiation straight to the duodenum every day. Can kombucha even come close to that? What does kombucha have? Like a million? RCTs really don't support their benefit? Okay, what is an RCT? And while we wait, someone said, what about kimchi? There's a difference. Kimchi tastes delicious, in my opinion. Oh, randomized controlled trial. I think that if kombucha was not expensive relative to its competition, it would have a better chance to stick around. But because it's seen as kind of like a pseudo health product slash maybe like a bit of I hate to say it, but a little bit of a status symbol. Now it's kind of the chicken or the egg, but I bet if you took like a survey of the incomes of kombucha drinkers versus non-kombucha drinkers, you would find that my expectation is that kombucha drinkers probably on average make more money. The only thing we can conclude from that is that drinking kombucha makes you better at your job. So that kind of flies in the face of what I've been saying about it having no benefit, but I don't know, man. I like the taste. I like the taste too. I love fermented foods by and large, but I mean, like if we're being honest, it's just two people talking here. Blind taste test, if I put you in an MRI machine and I give you a straw, and I give you a sip of Coke Zero, then I give you a sip of kombucha, which straw are you going back to? Which straw lights your brain up more? Let's just be honest with one another. And I hate to say, because I'm like not anti-kombucha, but I am kind of like, I don't know, I just don't see a world where people are paying like, you know, $8 a liter to drink it. When instead you could get a flat of Coke Zero and a bottle of medicinally meaningful probiotics for the same price. That's the current world? Yeah, but you don't know calculus. Your ass is still doing arithmetic. I'm looking at the derivative. I'm looking at the rate of change. And I think kombucha, I think we're living in peak kombucha. That's all I'm saying. And when you're in peak kombucha, you're like, it can only go up from here. 10 years later, you're like, why the hell were we ever drinking it in the first place? Blue cheese or ranch? I mean, you're going to get me in trouble here. People are going to realize I'm not a man of the people. I'm a ranch Andy. You would think because of my air of faux sophistication, I wouldn't be caught dead eating ranch. Wrong. I love delicious things. And ranch is paramount amongst them. I'm not anti-blue cheese. Again, we don't have to pit two bad bitches against each other. What about kombucha, though? I didn't pit kombucha against Coke Zero. I just said Coke Zero is better, for one. And I think that we're at peak kombucha. And you know how I know we're at peak kombucha? Is because for all the kombucha defenders that are in chat right now, how many of y'all are drinking it right now? Oh, once a month when I'm at Whole Foods, sometimes I go to the drink fridge and I get one, but it's too expensive for me to drink all the time. Then you agree with me. That's exactly what I'm saying. The shit is just, isn't it like amoeba poop in water? Why is it like $6 a liter? It should be like 2% more expensive than water. And all people are like, you can just make it yourself. But like, I'm just gonna be real with the kombucha stands out there. It's good, but it's not that good. I'm not dedicating a permanent spot in my fridge to like that amoeba. Just that paramecium, honestly, is gonna start having to pay rent. I'm not gonna give up my fridge space for kombucha. I know I can make everything myself. Otherwise, how would some motherfuckers have made it in the first place? You know? We all start with the same mats, bro. We don't all start with the same mats? We all start with similar... I'm not saying we all start with the same number of stacks of cobblestone. I'm just saying, whenever people are like, you know, you can make kimchi at home, I'm like, yes, I'm familiar with the fact that both me and, you know, BBGO can interface with matter that exists on planet Earth. It's not like they have a proprietary formula to get the fucking chopped gochu in there. It's like asking somebody else to, like, build you a diamond sword in Minecraft. It's like, my brother in Christ, you made the shaft. Now, your own Coke Zero, no, because that's a trade secret, okay? My granny makes Korean kimchi. Or my granny makes killer kimchi. Can I just say something? I'm not suggesting that making your own kimchi is not worth the time. All I'm going to say is my wife's parents are Korean as fuck, and even they don't make their own kimchi. Nor, to the best of my knowledge, have they ever expressed a desire to do so. They go to the H-Mart, they purchase the brand of kimchi that they enjoy the most, they put it in their kimchi fridge, and they get on with their lives, bro. They're not putting a tarp down in their living room and pouring out all the jars of cabbage and getting down there with the pink gloves and mixing it up and then stuffing it back into the jar and turning that shit into Dexter's Kill Room for something that you could reasonably get for like $9.99 a jar at the grocery store. You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying, like, why is it that people will like consume a food once, from a recipe or like a store-bought version, and they'll be like, that's good, but I bet I can make a better version at home. Bro, you know they've been perfecting this recipe at the factory in Laramie, Wyoming for like literally 3 generations? You think your ass is gonna break the mold on kimchi with some shit that you found from a SEO optimized website on a Google search? Why would I buy my own store-bought kimchi for $9.99 when I could pay $24.99 for the ingredients and make an inferior version myself from someone whose website only exists to siphon ad revenue off the internet? I think it's just, I admire it in a sense because you got a lot of confidence in yourself. On the other hand, I feel like we stand on the shoulders of giants. You're siphoning ad revenue? I know, but at least I have the audacity to be like, you should be watching George C. Scott's Patton right now. We need more people that refuse to get into debates. And whenever someone says, hey, what are your reasons for that? You can just say, I don't know. I felt like it. For some things, important policy decisions and whatnot, I think it makes sense. Those have to pass through the marketplace of ideas. But for some things, like why do you buy your kimchi at the store instead of purchasing the ingredients separately and making it at home? I don't know. You got to pick your battles in this life. The kimchi you get from the store is really good. I know your ass has read the mangchi recipe. My ass lived in Daegu for a year. I'll stack up nuts on the table. I'll stack up my Korean palate versus the average Korean palate in chat. I'm not saying I'm taking on your champion. You've probably got like an expert in there. But the median Korean food opinion, absolutely. You want to get into a debate about authenticity? I'm from Daegu. Oh, son of a bitch. How do you like them apples? See, the joke is that Daegu is famous for its apples. and getting really hot in the summertime. And being in a valley. And it did some of the group stage matches during the 2002 World Cup. Gun to the back of your head, name 5 Korean dishes. I'm not gonna, the fact that you asked for 5 just shows me that you don't know what you're talking about. That's like saying, I bet you can't name 2 Beatles albums. Like, what are we doing here? Okay, can you just say, be quiet in chat? Come on, they think I can't name 5 Korean dishes. It's an insulting question. It's like, can you name 5 letters of the alphabet? Of course I can name 5 letters of the alphabet. Now my ass is like, I gotta make sure that they're really obscure letters. I gotta be like Q, Z, X, V, J. He did say he likes Korean food more than Mexican food. That is true. But I like my wife more than I like Mexican food, so we eat a lot of Korean food. What do you like about Mexican food? It tastes good, is the #1 thing, controversially speaking. I like the tortilla. I like the meats. I like the rice. The foods, a lot of the foods are fun. Bro's turning 40 talking about fun foods. Just eat your slop, Grandpa. Oh, man. Stop attacking me. That's a really good comment. I'm going to give you a +2 on that one. Never did I feel more 40 than when I made baked oatmeal for myself. And then when I tasted it and it didn't taste that good, I was like, what did I expect? It's baked oats. Like when I ate it, I was like hoping it would taste maybe, I don't know, like an apple cinnamon Nutri-Grain bar or something like that. Then I ate it and it did not really taste like, it was okay, but it was a little gruel-esque, yeah. And then I thought back about like the process of cooking it and the ingredients that I put into it, and I was like, no, this makes sense. I love it when you suck me like that, and when you close them, give me the shivers 2 or 3, and baby, we're gonna go till I split your crack. And when you see the party's over, then you throw it right back. Cause I said, ooh, something. Was I close? He doesn't say that. He says something like that. You make me feel like I'm living a teenage dream. The way you suck me off, I go. And don't ever look, baby, with your ripped up jeans and your skin tight jeans and your teenage jeans tonight. That's a banger too. But you didn't have to suck me up. Pull my underpants down and throat my member, but you didn't have to bite it off and spit it out and get me feel so low. What? Something like it's so. I didn't write the song, dude. It's something like that, okay? Leave those parodies to Justin. I still think about it every time I hear the song, which is like every 80s ride on Peloton. John Cougar Mellencamp's Jack and Diane. Sucking off chili dudes inside the morgue's deep freeze. Jack's wearing a winter coat. He's got a pillow underneath his knees. Let them rock, let them roll. Let the Bible belt come and save my soul. I think about your piss is on my lips like all the time. Because your piss is on my lips. Because your piss, I can't resist. Because your piss is on my lips. When I turn out the lights. I have Vanessa Carlton's song stuck in my head, except it's sucking a dick downtown, sucking fast, stations past and I'm homebound. And I throat you. I don't know why I'm using throat. I guess because you need a lot of synonyms for suck in order to make the song feel clever. And I piss you.